Welcome to the video demonstration of the custom strength automated tool for functional movement screen results and corrective exercises. Now we'll go through the customizations that you can do prior to running the functional movement screen reporting tool that you've created. Basically, if it's a green cell, fill it in. So here, if I'd like to, I've got a branding, so I'm going to add in my URL. So without the www, that's added for you. And here I'll enter the logo and file name. I do have a logo, so you need to include the complete path. And then similarly, you need to include the complete path where the corrective exercise images that came with the tool are stored. Typically, it would be in the same location that you store this actual tool, but you do need to include the complete file or path name for that location, not the file, but the path name. If you want to include your phone number on handouts, you can enter it here. It doesn't matter what format you put it in. And then the file extension for your version of Excel. In my case, it's .xlsx because it's Excel 2007. Lastly, I'm going to enter in my name here. So where it says your name, enter in your name. And then your designation if you like. You don't have to. And then for me, my email is coach@customstrength.com. Now, if you have other people that work with you at your studio, up to 7 others, you can enter their name here and then their email address. And then you'll see in a moment how you can use this. Now, this does the setup for me, assuming that my email address matches my domain up above. Now, if you're someone, for instance, who you don't have a domain, you still use the tool, maybe your email address is coach@gmail.com. If that's the case, then you want to enter it directly there. I'm just going to undo it because that is not the case for me. And that is it for the general customizations. We will talk about more detailed customizations of the corrective exercises a little bit later on. Now we'll move on to the functional movement screen result tool. On the actual functional movement screen result tool that we have for individual clients, as with all of our tools, effectively, if the cell is green, you should fill in the value. So here I'm going to add in a value for John Anderson, who's a client of mine who is a skier. And so where you entered in the professionals before, this is where you'll see the list options. So you can pull in your own value there, or anyone else who's working with you can pull in their value. And then we're going to start entering the values for the actual movement screen. So this client scored a 2 in the squat, was asymmetrical on the hurdle step. So I'll make a little note here. And then take a look at what happens in the blue cell. So I enter a 2 and a 1 for the lunge, and automatically the blue cell is given a 1. So in other words, the logic for the functional movement screen is programmed right in. Shoulder mobility, I'll often enter the hand length here, just because sometimes you do have asymmetries, even though they're both within the same score. It won't necessarily affect my programming, but it might, so I want to know. For the 3 clearing tests, you get a drop-down option of pass or fail. So now we'll go straight leg raise. I'm going to say a 2 on the push-up. But with that 2, this time in the extension clearing test, we call it a fail. So that automatically see the zeros programmed right in. And not bad on rotary stability, and we'll call that a pass. So now we've entered the scores. Now we have to look at those scores and decide which ones that we're going to work on. This is something you have to do yourself. The tool does not set this up for you. So based on these scores, I see a lot of 1, 2. I think the inline lunge and active straight leg raise are the ones that I will want to address. You'll notice as soon as I pick one, it highlights it up there. That's just for the sake of the printout. If I want, I can add in some information here. Be careful, low back extension, or whatever. I mean, if you don't have anything to say, then you don't need to say anything, but just something we can put in there if you have something that's not covered specifically by that. Now I have the option to select whether or not I want to provide a corrective exercise sheet. In this case, I do. The times when you wouldn't is if it's someone that you are going to be working with anyways and you don't want to send them home with any exercises. But if you do, then select that button and create a new client file. And you notice that things are going on in the background, and within about 5 or 10 seconds, we have the new file. And here we have it. It's got my logo on there, and I can just go, I'm going to do a print preview. And as you can see, the formatting is all set up. So this is Page 1, and then page 2 and page 3 have the corrective exercises, pictures and descriptions. And similarly, I could easily go in here and do a save as a PDF if I want to provide this to the client by soft copy or to other coaches. Now, what I do at this point, reset the form, gives me a chance to make sure I've hit the right button, and now I can start again with another client. If I wanted to do the same client again, say that client came back in a month later for a retest, then I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to do a little cheat here and change the date, because you cannot have two people in for the same date or two results. So I'm just going to assume that we've had great results just so I can show you how this works. Okay, so now we're 14. So because all else is even, we're going to pick straight leg raise and shoulder mobility to work on. And now I'm going to do, instead of doing a create new client file at this point, I'm going to open his previous file and I'm just going to hit save client result. And then what this does, again, it's within just a few seconds, it's now added this to the same file that was there before. So now, once I've retested someone several times, I can have a nice comparison. If I want to provide someone results, but I don't want to give them the corrective exercises, we'll just do a different, pretend it's a different person. Now we do the create new file. And again, it's only about 5, maybe 10 seconds. And this time, you can see that there's no corrective exercise. It's just a one single sheet, nice and quick. Go and print it out, and your client has some nice results. So I hope this has been helpful. And if you have any questions, please contact me at coach@customstrength.com, or you can go to the website customstrength.com and pick up a copy. Thank you.